Hermione's Song, Chapter 19. Diagon Alley, London, 996 AD. Rowena Ravenclaw looked around the group of friends slowly, sensing something wasn't right. She noticed the shocked expressions on the faces of Sir Harry, the Lady Ginny, and the Lady Hermione. Even Merlin himself looked a little confused, but it was always difficult to read him. She started to chuckle when she realized what was probably happening.
"Excuse me, Lord Merlin, but when are you?" she
inquired politely. The doctor narrowed his eyes as he looked at Rowena's face, searching for some clue as to what she was really asking. I believe the year is 996, he replied cautiously. Rowena looked amused by his answer.
"Yes, my lord, it is the year 996. But when are you?"
she repeated. Going with an educated guess, she added,
"How many times have we met before?"
"Oh, that's what you're asking. From our perspective, this is the first time any of us have met you three," the doctor replied, looking around at his friends for confirmation. Harry still looked dazed. Hermione was frowning in thought, and Ginny nodded at him, confirming this was indeed their first encounter with the three legends. Godric Gryffindor stood up and took a step backwards, his face red with embarrassment. Helga Hufflepuff stood on her toes and whispered in a sing-song voice to Rowena,
"Awkward."
Hermione closed her eyes for just a second as she processed what was happening. She had just witnessed 3 out of the 4 founders of Hogwarts greet Harry as if he were an old friend. If that wasn't mind-bending enough, Godric Gryffindor acted like not only did he know the Doctor, but he respected him greatly enough to bestow the title of Merlin on him. Throughout Wizarding history, only a few of the most powerful and respected wizards managed to earn that title. It was an honorific used to show respect for not only the wizard who had been granted the title, but as a way of remembering the deeds of the greatest wizard of all time. When she opened her eyes, she walked over to where Harry, Godric, and the Doctor stood. She bowed to the huge man with flaming red hair before speaking.
"Pardon me, Professor Gryffindor, but I need a few moments with these men,"
she said with utmost respect. "Of course, my lady," Godric replied, and stepped back to stand in between Rowena and Helga. Hermione grabbed both Harry and the Doctor by the arms and dragged them over to Ginny. When she reached the other side of the street, Hermione let go of the men's arms, stomped her foot, and glared at the Doctor.
"I think I took the fact that the guy I like happens to be a time-traveling alien rather well, thank you. Not to mention one of my closest friends happens to be his long-lost daughter, and an alien as well,"
she pointed out to the Doctor.
"However, when 3 out of the 4 founders of Hogwarts show up and treat Harry like he's a long-lost friend, and then they start calling you Merlin, time for some answers," she demanded.
Ginny smirked at Hermione's reaction. She'd been amazed at how well Hermione was taking things. When Ginny first realized that she had the ability to see forwards, backwards, and across multiple time streams, she had well and truly freaked out.
"Let me get the first part of that, Dad,"
she suggested. She led Harry and Hermione over to a craftsman's stall and pointed out the rope tying the canvas roof to the stakes hammered into the hard ground.
"Take a look at this rope. It runs from here to there,"
she said, motioning from the stake to the canvas.
"It's one length of rope that is made up of thousands of smaller strands woven together,"
she pointed out.
"This rope is time, and every living being, and even a few non-living beings, create their own timeline. The strands that make up the rope,"
she explained. Ginny elbowed her dad in the ribs when he rolled his eyes at how oversimplified she was making the analogy.
"Everyone lives their life from beginning to end,"
she explained, motioning from the bottom of the rope to the top.
"People like us, my dad, me, and now you two, are the exceptions. Our strands aren't woven into the rope like the others,"
she told them. She plucked out a single strand and tied the end of it to the middle of the rope.
"We can start here, and then move to here,"
she said while she tied a segment of the lone strand to a spot lower on the rope.
"And then we can hop over here,"
she told them while she tied another segment of the strand much higher up. Hermione stepped closer to the rope and traced the lone strand as it went in different directions. The Doctor stepped next to her and gave her a moment to comprehend the difficult concept. "Considering how long I've been traveling, it's a wonder I ever meet anyone in the right order," he joked. Harry looked at Ginny, still slightly confused. "Let me see if I have this straight. Time is a rope, and certain strands can leave the rest and weave in and out on their own path," he tried to paraphrase. The The doctor shook his head and put his hand on Harry's shoulder. Actually, time is nothing like a rope. But if it helps you wrap your head around it, yes, time is a rope, he said with just a slight bit of condescension in his voice. A corner of the doctor's mouth turned up as he realized he was talking to Harry like he used to talk to Rory.
That actually makes sense,
Hermione said. Pleased she had followed Ginny's explanation easily.
The Founders know us from a point in our future, which is their past.
She blurted out. She saw she had just confused Harry more.
At some point in the future, we go back into their past and they meet us for the first time, from their perspective. When we do that, the Doctor must do something pretty amazing to earn him the title of Merlin,
she tried to explain. The Doctor ran his hand through his hair. About that, he started to say. Camelot only fell about 20 years ago, so it's possible they knew me from court, although I don't remember them, he told his friends. All eyes were on him. You see, Arthur's life was very important to how your species progressed, so I stopped in on him every now and then to make sure things were going as they should, he admitted. Whenever I was at court, I used the name Merlin, he said sheepishly. How was I to know that people would blow things out of proportion and make me out to be some sort of super wizard? He asked rhetorically. Ginny stared at the Doctor, not quite believing what he was telling her.
You're the original Merlin?
She asked her dad for clarification. Yes, I am, but that was ages ago, the Doctor replied. I looked a bit older and had longer, lighter-colored hair that was a bit curly. Not a bit what you lot think I looked like, he told them. I have no idea where the phrases wizards use come from. Except for that one time when I was being held by the FBI in 1969. I've never even had a beard, he added. When Hermione thought about the phrase, Merlin's beard, it forced her to think of the other one that was used to swear with, the one she had used earlier that morning. She blushed when she realized she had referred to the man she was hoping to date as having saggy balls. If it were possible for a person to die of embarrassment, Hermione was sure she would have been a fresh corpse at the moment. Ginny had jumped to the same thought as Hermione and bit her lip to keep from laughing. Harry looked her in the eyes, confusion written on his face.
Merlin's saggy balls,
she mouthed silently to him. Harry wasn't as successful as Ginny at holding things in and ended up laughing out loud. That will be enough of that, young lady, the Doctor warned his daughter, his tone half serious. Ginny lost it and started laughing along with Harry. The laughter spread, and soon Hermione was swept up in the merry contagion. The Doctor threw his hands in the air, turned around, and walked over to the Founders. Ginny followed right behind him. Hermione was about to follow, but Harry put his hand on her arm to stop her for a moment. Just wanted to do a quick reality check, Harry informed Hermione. I'm dating Merlin's daughter, and you've just started dating Merlin himself, he stated, wanting to make sure he hadn't gone completely mad. Hermione rolled her eyes at Harry.
We haven't even had a first date yet, so I don't know if you can actually call it dating,
she corrected him. After a brief pause, she realized what Harry was trying to say.
Aside from that, you seem to have it. You are indeed dating Merlin's daughter,
she assured him. Harry took a long, calculating look at Hermione. That's cool, but I'm not sure how I feel about having you as a future mother-in-law, he said with a straight face. Hermione tried to step on his foot, but Harry was expecting that, and moved away before she could strike. He walked backwards towards the Doctor and stuck his tongue out at her. Hermione tried to glare him into oblivion, but her heart wasn't in it.